Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radhe Cham, Radhe Cham, Radhe Cham, Jaya Radhe Cham. Jaya Radhe Cham, Radhe Cham, Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham. Vrindavan Dham. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol, Krishna Krishna. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Nitai Gaura. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Everybody, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. One more time, everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Rama, Hare Rama. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Go Premanandi. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Purvikacharya Astu Terasata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Purvikacharya Astu Terasata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shaimakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Chamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Priya Madanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Transcendental Krishna Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai. Go Premanandi. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Yes. That's got something in it for my throat. Yes, small amount though. Hare Krishna to Radha Kalachandji Dham, to all of the assembled devotees, those that are seen and those that are unseen with our material eyes, but they're there. Chakri, I have no idea what you and Vishnu Priya, what you and your good wife are doing, but I mean, you are firing up these mornings. At least when I'm here, it's like, what is going on? So I guess you're prepping us for introducing new devotees into the temple. This is the atmosphere to bring them in. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 6th chapter, verses 19 through 30, focusing on 30. But I will probably do things just a little bit differently because I'm so inspired to do it. This is the month of my Gurudev's birth, so it seems like I'm getting a lot of association from him, and I intend to utilize it. So if there's something that is said that seems to throw you off track, or it's like, why did she say that? I'm trying to innocently channel some of the things that he may have said in the scripture, but please understand, I'm not trying to copy him because I'm in no way near who he was and still is. Does someone have the small cartels? I'd like to use them, please. And this is always a nice way to introduce ourselves to reading the scriptures. They're somewhere in the room, huh? They're there. I can sense it. Are they underneath and I don't see them? Of course. I did think I was a little out there, but I try not to complain so much. Sure. Thank you so much for your service. Krishna knows. We always like to start out by singing Jaya Radha Madhava, which is very sweet. It's a message of love between Radha and Krishna, but it's also an understanding that we are completely loved by the Lord, even more than we realize, and he makes so much available to us if we would just drop our guard and surrender. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jadaranjanan. Yashodanandana Braja Jadaranjanan. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jadaranjanan. Yashodanandana Braja Jadaranjanan. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jaya Jaya Jagannath, 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 Jaya Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Jaya Baladev, 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 Jaya Jaya Baladev. Jaya Jaya Subhadra, 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 Jaya Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Gornitai, 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 Jaya Jaya Gornitai. Nitai Guru Haribol, 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 Nitai Guru Haribol. Nitai Guru Haribol, 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 Nitai Guru Haribol. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So we're going to read from Canto 10, Chapter 6, and we're focusing on text 19 through 30. And as I said, this is the month of my guru's birth. So something really jumped out at me, and I don't want to take away from the scriptures because it's in the canto, but be prepared for me to focus on that first before I jump into 19. But saying that to say, we're going to start with text 19. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, who will start by reading the translation for text 19? Who? We've got the mic, please.
Thereafter, Mother Yashoda and Rohini, along with other elderly gopis, waved about the switch of a cow to give full protection to the child, Shri Krishna.
The child was thoroughly washed with cow urine and then smeared with the dust raised by the movements of the cows. The different names of the Lord were applied with the cow dung on 12 different parts of his body, beginning with the forehead, as done in applying tilak. In this way, the child was given protection.
The gopis first executed the process of achaman, drinking a sip of water from the right hand. They purified their bodies and hands with the nyasa mantra, and then applied the same mantra upon the body of the child.
Sukadev Goswami informed Maharaja Prakashit that the gopis, following the proper system, protected Krishna, their child, with this mantra. Maya J protect your legs. May Mani Man protect your knees. Yajna your thighs. Akyuta the upper part of your waist, and Hayagriva your abdomen. May Keshava protect your heart. Isha your chest. The sun god your neck. Vishnu your arms. Urukrama your face, and Ishvara your head. May Chakri protect you from the front. May Sri Hari Gadidhara, the carrier of the club, protect you from the back. And may the carrier of the bow, who is known as the enemy of Madhu, and Lord Ajana, the carrier of the sword, protect your two sides. May Lord Urugaya, the carrier of the conch shell, protect you from all corners. May Upindra protect you from above. May Gurada protect you on the ground, and may Lord Haladara, the Supreme Person, protect you on all sides.
May Hrishikesha protect your senses and Narayana your life air. May the Master of Shvetadri protect the core of your heart, and may Lord Yogeshwara protect your mind.
May Lord Vishnukarma protect your intelligence, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead your soul. While you are playing, may Govinda protect you, and while you are sleeping, may Madhava protect you. May Lord Vaikunta protect you while you are walking, and may Lord Narayana, the husband of the goddess of fortune, protect you while you are sitting. Similarly, may Lord Yagnabuk, the fearful enemy of all evil plans, always protect you while you enjoy life.
The evil witches known as Dakinis, Yatudhanis, and Kushmandas are the greatest enemies of children, and the evil spirits like the Bhutas, Pretas, Pishachas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, and Vinayakas, as well as witches like Kotara, Revati, Jeshta, Putana, and Matraka, are always ready to give trouble to the body, the life air, and the senses, causing loss of memory, madness, and bad dreams. Like the most experienced evil stars, they all create great disturbances, especially for children. But one can vanquish them simply by uttering Lord Vishnu's name, for when Lord Vishnu's name resounds, all of them become afraid and go away.
Jai. Very nice. So text 30, we can, we will read. I will read, and then you can repeat afterwards. Oh, you're going to read the last translation. Yes, please.
Shri Sukadev Goswami continued, all the gopis headed by Mother Yasoda were bound by material affection. After they thus chanted mantras to protect the child, Mother Yasoda gave the child the nipple of her breast to suck, and then got him to lie down on his bed.
Jai. So text 30. And this chapter again is dealing with the killing of the demon Putana. Text 30. Sri Sukha Yuvacha Iti Pranaya Bodhabhuir. I guess it would make a difference if I put on my glasses, so Gopiba Krita Rakshanam Papayana Papay Yitva Stanam Mata Sanya Vasya Sayat Atmajam. Now let me try that again. Sri Sukha Yuvacha Iti Pranam Badabhya Gopi Krita Rakshanam Payayadvastanam Mata Sanyavesh Sayat Atmajam Sri Sukha Yuvacha Iti Pranaya Badabhya Gopi Krita Rakshanam Payayadvastanam Mata Sanyaveshayat Atmajam. Yes, please. Would someone like to read? Shri Sukha Yuvacha Iti Pranamabhya Gopi Bhi Krita Yakshanam. Perfect. Thank you. Sanyaveshayat Majam. It's good. Sukha Yuvacha Iti Pranaya Badabhya Gopi Kriya Rakshanam Payayadvasanam Mata Sanyaveshat Atmajam Sri Sukha Yuvacha Iti Pranaya Budabhya Gopida Krita Rakshanam Payayadva Atma Sanyavesayat Admajam Shisuka Yuvacha Iti Pranaya Buddhabir Gopabi Kriti Rakshanam Payayadvastana Matta Sanyavesai Atmajam. So, word for word, Sri Sukha Yuvacha. Sri Sukadev Goswami said, E.T. in this way, Pranabhadabhya, who were bound with material affection, Gopavihi, by the elderly gopis, headed by Mother Yashoda, Kriti Rakshanam, all measures were taken to protect the child, Payayatva, and after that, feeding the child, Stanam, the nipple, Mata, mother, Yashoda, Sanyaveshat, made to lie down on the bed, Atmajam, her son. Translation again, Srila Sukadev Goswami continued. All the gopis headed by Mother Yashoda were bound by maternal affection after they thus chanted mantras to protect the child. Mother Yashoda gave the child the nipple of her breast to suck and then got him to lie down on his bed. Purport. When a baby drinks milk from the breast of his mother, this is a good sign of health. So the elderly gopis were not satisfied with chanting mantras to give protection to Krishna. They also tested whether the child's health was in order. When the child sucked the breast, this confirmed that he was healthy. And when the gopis were fully satisfied, they had the child lie down on his bed. Om Ginyana Timirandasya Garanjana Shalakaya Chakshul Militam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sandubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavibhya Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Inanda Svidvaita Gadara Shivasati Shikora Bhakti Swami Chanam Namaste Krishna Prabhupada Shri Guru Karuna Shakti. So this is a very interesting chapter. Every time and every time that you read from the scriptures, there is nectar. In one sentence, you can make a story of it. There is so much there. I was going to add a realization, and maybe if we have time, I'll do it, but I was just pondering and looking at the fact that baby Krishna, after being threatened by Mother Putana, and we know he was not threatened, we know that there was no danger, but these pastimes are for our benefit. But what I'm noticing, or what I notice, is that he was cleaned, purified, and mantras were said over him by gopis. By gopis. This is very important. And I'm saying this is very important because sometimes when we're reading the scriptures, we think that the female is not honored or respected, but when you read the scriptures, really read it. Here you're listening, you're seeing that Krishna has allowed gopis to clean him, to purify him, to chant the achanam nayasa, the sprinkling the water on the hand, touching the body. This is done by gopis. So this is just a really quick thought, or something to ponder for the mothers, for the deities for the females in the audience. Remember, you are very important, as is the male. But the point is, in the scriptures repeatedly, there are sections where Krishna lets you know there is no minimization, no minimizing who you are and what your importance is. I thought that the prayers that were spoken were very powerful, very key, and maybe more so to my benefit than anyone else's. I'd like to have them repeated because they're prayers for protection, not only for Lord Krishna, but for every single one of us that's here. So if I might have someone repeat the prayers again, the mantras. The text, I think it starts with text 22 to 23. Those are very powerful mantras, and we should take advantage of them anytime we hear them. And I don't think this happens often, but because this is happening, I've been so inclined to feel the need to repeat it. So if someone does not read, I will read. Would someone like to volunteer reading this mantra again for our benefit and for our purification? Sukadev Goswami.
Shukdev Goswami informed Maharaj Parikshit that the gopis, following the proper system, protected Krishna, their child, with this mantra. May Aja protect your legs. May Maniman protect your knees. Yagna, your thighs. Achyuta, the upper part of your waist. And Hayagriva, your abdomen. May Keshava protect your heart. Isha, your chest. The sun god, your neck. Vishnu, your arms. Urukrama, your face. And Ishvara, your head. May Chakri protect you from the front. May Sri Hari, Gadadhar, the carrier of club, protect you from the back. And may the carrier of the bow, who is known as enemy of Madhu, and Lord Ajana, the carrier of the sword, protect your two sides. May Lord Urugaya, the carrier of the conch shell, protect you from all corners. May Upendra protect you from above. May Garuda protect you on the ground. And may Lord Haladara, the Supreme Person, protect you on all sides. May Hrishikesha protect your senses and Narayana your life air. May the master of Shwetadeep protect the core of your heart, and may Lord Yogeshwara protect your mind. May Lord Prishnigarbha protect your intelligence and the Supreme Personality of Godhead your soul. While you're playing, may Govinda protect you, and while you're sleeping, may Madhava protect you. May Lord Vaikunta protect you while you are walking, and may Lord Narayana, the husband of Goddess of Fortune, protect you while you are sitting. Similarly, may Lord Yagnabhuk, the fearful enemy of all evil planet, always protect you while you enjoy life.
Very nice. And if you felt like it, put yourself in the place. You're being blessed with these mantras. So I thought that was really important. In the scriptures that we're covering, it goes on to mention that there does exist witches that have some potency, and there are spirits that are they're destined to do harm, or they're the greatest enemies of children. It goes on to mention different potencies of witches, but the point is, even though we're reading this, no matter what ill feelings that may be around us, whatever entities that we may be approached with, even if one does not remember these particular mantras, and I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to remember them, but what I can remember and what it does insist and mention to remember in situations like this is you call out the name of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, when you're in situations like this. And all of us at some point in time has had a situation where we were surrounded by fear or we were threatened. This is extremely important, the Maha Mantra. This is why it's stressed. to always keep it in your heart and on your tongue, because from moment to moment, one never knows what's going to occur. We hear different leelas in the scriptures that, for our benefit, give us situations where different things happen, but it always gives us a solution for these particular things. The one thing that struck me about this particular chapter is this was an arrangement by Krishna. Krishna arranged that Putana, this witch, this demoness, could come into the house, past the mothers, into Nanda Maharaj's home, take Krishna in her arms, and they describe Krishna as fire with smoldering ashes around him. Very powerful, very potent. The point I'm trying to make is that this was planned. Krishna arranged that Putana lose her life, not so much because she was coming to kill him. She couldn't kill him. It's impossible. But this was to settle the score for all of the babies that she killed. It's very important that we remember the three miseries. That's what really got my attention, the three miseries. Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, and Adhidevika. We need to really understand them. There are things that happen according to providence. This is above providence. This is the Lord. But the point is, we really need to understand Adhyatmika, Adhidevika. Adhyatmika is when things happen based on our body and our mind. What we need to understand is if there is ever a situation where we are possibly put into danger, where we are trying to or attempting to protect someone, we should never think, and I'm speaking based on a scenario from my guru, because it was something that occurred some time ago, and it reminded me of a situation that people may have misunderstood as adhyatmika. When we are put in a situation, or when we step up to protect, when we are placed in harm, it doesn't necessarily mean that from a previous life we did this to someone else. We need to understand that. We also need to understand that there are things that are caused by other individuals. That is adhibhautika. That was on my heart to explain, because it's very important that sometimes when things happen, we know it's one of the three miseries, but we need to distinguish it and understand that it is not necessarily something that we did from a previous life. And that takes a lot of studying, that takes a lot of association and listening to know exactly when it is something we've done and when it is something that is just happening based on another individual. I hope that was clear. Anyway, I was led to say that. The killing of the demoness Putana gives us the reassurance that whatever is going on in our lives, we are protected at all times. Whether we can see the Lord, we need to be able to at least have the experience of feeling his presence. And again, it goes back to chanting the Maha Mantra, having good association. It makes all the difference in the world to have the best association. Because when you have it, you have at least someone to fall back on or someone to lean on to enhance your feeling of protection, in addition to the fact that you know you're protected. That was a mouthful. But the point is chanting the holy name, making sure that at every possible moment in our lives, that is on our lips, it's on our heart, because we never know when we're going to need to pull it and when we're going to have to draw from it. Now, even though the Lord arranged this, this was still a lesson for devotees. every single lesson, every single story that's in the scriptures, one way or another, is an example of a lesson of how we should lead our lives. The other point that came up, because what we also need to understand is there are so many qualified individuals that will read from the scriptures. We will have different understandings, but I was drawn to this because it was a lesson in protection. And as crazy as the world is, it's important to not get wrapped up in all the things that are happening, to not lose our mind, to not lose sight of the fact that we are children of God, that we are connected in such a wonderful way. But when we don't establish a foundation for that connection, we're like a ship that's without the oar. We're lost in a sea. It is very important to honor the basics for protection, to deal with life, to deal with whatever goes on in our lives. Read, chant, good association, and when you have the opportunity, listen to an acharya or a guru or sannyasi. We have such protection and such a foundation that no matter what happens outside that door or what happens inside the temple, it shouldn't sway us from the path of devotion. It should never sway us. And I think that's very important as we delve and go deeper into Kali Yuga. We're going to have situations that are going to seem to rock our world. We do not need to fear. I can tell you just based on the short time that I've been in the movement, and it's been a couple of decades, I've had experiences where I have had the proof of knowing that having the Lord in the heart and at least trying to remember his name when the scenario took place, I've had the opportunity, and I've seen people have the opportunity of being protected by the Lord. And maybe sometimes I stress protection in community and family a lot, but I find that that's very, very important in our movement. Every movement is going to have some inconsistencies, but Srila Prabhupada has laid a platform. And how is it said? He's built a house in which everyone can live. There are going to be ups and downs. We are going to be affected by the three miseries. We do not need to fall apart. We do not need to abandon this philosophy. It works when you take this seriously, when you surrender to Krishna, when you drop your guard and understand you are not the controller. Allow Krishna to help you go through life. He gives you leaders. He gives you mentors. And if you don't have any immediately, pray for one, and Krishna will arrange. It's like the old adage, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. There is always someone available for help. It is so important to understand that in order to build upon this Krishna consciousness, you need a solid foundation. And Srila Prabhupada has laid the platform and the ground rules for the foundation. Those things came to heart. The one thing that, I'm a little early and that's unusual, but the lessons here is that, there are a couple of lessons here, but the point is protection. This is what I got, that we are protected more than we realize, but there are things that we need to do. We shouldn't just be, what is the word? We shouldn't just expect things to happen for us. We have to put in the work. And that's the whole, the processes that I mentioned earlier. This is a wonderful movement. It is not perfect, but it is a very good movement. I would not change a moment in the experiences that I've had, because in spite of and irregardless of the things, I have found the principles have been honored. The Lord has never lied. When he says he will do for you, when you do this, this, these are guidelines we need to follow. Things do happen. We are entering a point of Kali Yuga where it seems like every moment something is happening in the news. One has to be very careful how much one reads the news. It's important to know what's going on outside. And I'm going to end this shortly. But what is important is that you don't lose your dedication to Krishna consciousness. You don't lose the purpose that Srila Prabhupada set for ISKCON. He set it up as pretty much a wherewithal. It covers everything. In the scriptures, however, whatever happens in your life, there's a scenario that tells you this happens, this is what you do, this is the result. The scriptures, the Vedas, there is so much information. Some of us may not have enough time in our lives to read it all, but I must stress that it is very important to read Srila Prabhupada's books, to understand the principles that have been set aside. And in this world, this ever-changing world, it is so important to try to maintain a community, a foundation that will attract people to us, because this is a very special movement. But sometimes it gets a little off track because people have different interpretations. That's the nice part about the Bhagavad Gita. It is Bhagavad Gita as it is. It does not need anyone's interpretation. I can read it and say, this is what I see from this. And it's not that I'm interpreting it. This is the realization that I have from it. So in order to really benefit in this lifetime, even in Kali Yuga, take shelter of the holy name. Take shelter of the process. The process works. Another thing, it's also important to have some type of association, develop some friendship with another devotee, because we can't go through this process by ourselves. And it's very nice when in the Gurukuls, I believe you all develop relationships with each other. Even okay, I'm losing the meaning, but the brahmacharis, you develop a foundation, a group understanding and a setting and a friendship. These things are so important. The temple is here for our benefit. It is here to worship and have darshan of the Lord, but it is so special and so priceless that this is something that we need to share with others, which is why I like the fact that at least once a week, a group of individuals goes out on Harinam to build the energy that makes it so attractive to bring people into the community. This is what's important, but you want to bring them into a community that's going to benefit them. So it's our responsibility. We're those spiritual warriors that have a job to do. We have work to do. We need to maintain a foundation that attracts individuals along with the principles, understanding the principles and the guidelines that Srila Prabhupada has set. When we do that, more people will come and they will understand, and it will give greater strength to the movement. Now, this was not exactly text 19 to 30, but it was a thought process and a realization that I wanted to share. I'm going to end at this point. Does anyone have any thoughts or anything they want to share based on what was read, what they've read from the chapter 6. And I'm hoping that people actually do read before we come to the classes, because you'll miss a lot if you don't.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your class. I appreciated the topic of protection, and especially in the atmosphere of Kali Yuga. And even it affects inside the doors of our temples, as you pointed out, and how we need to take shelter in association and in the Lord himself. And I was wondering about college students that we, like Sahadev and I, were going out to universities and distributing books, and I'm wondering how to convey this idea of a higher power protecting us and maintaining us for people who don't have faith in that, who are agnostic, washed over by this secular culture. How would you recommend conveying, helping them come up to that idea that we can get protection from higher power?
That's a very good question. Very good question. And as I'm thinking, I don't know the areas that you go to preach to the college students, but most of all and foremost is how you carry yourselves, how you show that regardless of the atmosphere that's around you, whether they're for you or not, that you are there boldly preaching and you're showing love, but on the level of helping them to understand the protection. That may take a process, but it's not something that they will understand. Maybe they won't understand it immediately. Maybe an individual that's intelligent will realize that here are two devotees, and they're coming into an atmosphere where they may not even be cared for or liked, but they don't fear what's going to happen. It's how you present yourself. The actual understanding of protection, the way we understand it, may take a little while, but most of it is going to be based on how you present yourself. You can present yourself in such a way that people will look at you and go like, wow, they're so sure of themselves, and that surety comes with confidence, and that confidence comes with knowing you are protected. No matter where you are, it will show. Sometimes you don't even have to open your mouth. It depends sometimes on where you go. Some of us have gone into areas where they're not fit for gentlemen or women to go into. That takes boldness. That takes the understanding that you're protected. But as I said, a lot of it is going to have to start with how you present yourself. And also, being that that's a point that you want to bring to someone's attention or share with someone, pray to Guru and Krishna. Pray to Guru and Krishna and ask them to help you to manifest the understanding or whatever you need to say or whatever you need to do to show people that there is such protection in the world. And it is definitely obvious when we sing the Nrsingadev prayer. That is so powerful. As a matter of fact, that's the song that I fell in love with when I came to the movement. Not the Mahamantra, because Nrsingadev attracted me. I was at a point where there were crazy things going on in my life. And when I understood that Krishna in the form of Nrsingadev would protect me, and he comes out of a pillar to protect, it's like, oh, that just did it. That did it. I don't know what you all do when you go out. I don't even know if the Nrsingadev prayer is part, and I'm not going to say add it to it, but boy, that brings it home. When you sing it and then you explain to them what it is. Sometimes just seeing the Nrsingadev pendant brings the question from someone, what is that? That opens the door for an opportunity of you explaining who Nrsingadev is. I don't have the exact answer for you, but I do know that if that is what you want to express, the Lord in the heart will help you do that. Not even a problem. And I think that's a wonderful thing that you would want to share with someone. I think that's the first time I've ever heard anyone, especially the brahmacharis going out, wanting to express or share the protection of the Lord. That is very important, because when you go out, you're going out with the protection of the Lord. The very fact that you go places that you go, that's an example in itself. But as I said, pray to Guru and Krishna for the exact process and route that you need to take, and it can be done. Not a problem. Thank you for that question. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Very insightful. Yeah, I was looking up statistics and seeing that anxiety and fear of financial security, even security of basic necessities, are really prevalent among college students. If they just understood that Krishna will maintain and protect them if they take shelter of him, then their anxiety would go away. But how do we get them to that point?
That's a very good point. Very good point. And that is a topic that I heard the other day about college students, those that are still there and those that are coming out. The financial security is not necessarily there immediately so that they can see it. But the point is, they need to understand that, and I don't remember the exact wording of the Sanskrit, maybe someone does. Krishna maintains what you have and he carries what you lack. It does not matter what the situation is. This is Kali Yuga. People are still surviving based on minimal income, based on whatever Krishna arranges, but they have to start somewhere with faith. They have to have the faith in the holy name, in Krishna. They have to understand that what he says he'll do, he'll do. Stress, mental illness, all of these things, it is next to the number one disease in the world. And people that have this shelter in ISKCON, sometimes they're so overwhelmed they forget, Lord Krishna is there, call out his name, ask for his protection. You have it. But he's like the parent sometimes. If a child does not call the parent, maybe the parent's going to be doing something else. But when the parent hears the child's cry, immediately the parent's there. So they need to understand that holy name has so much power. It has so much protection. Our minds can't even wrap itself around the potencies in the holy name. But you're right. Even the stress that people go through, the depression. There's so many young people and older people that are taking their lives, and they have the Lord's name, but they don't use it. It's right there. Use it no matter how intense the situation is. Some people can be holding on to a scenario or situation by the skin of their teeth. All you have to do, and I don't want to make it so simplistic, but call his name. Call Krishna. He has many names. Me, I'll call out Krishna. It's oh Govinda, oh Krishna. No matter what the situation is, no matter what happens, when I call out his name, whatever the issue is, eventually it resolves itself. So I can tell you there is power in the holy name, and there's some of you that are sitting here that have had this situation where you've had an intense scenario and it almost seemed helpless. But when you fall back, fall into the holy name, fall into his arms, he is there for you. No matter what illness, no matter what the situation, he is there. And we do need to express that to the kids that are, the students that are coming out that have no idea whether or not there's going to be a job for them. Some I hear are moving back in with the parents for a while. Well, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But Krishna will never, ever leave you alone. But you actually have to know him and approach him. He's in the heart, all times. We just need to help them reach in and understand the connection. Very good points. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Please.
Just want to say that, compared to most people out there, a devotee is much more advanced, and because we're reading Prabhupada's books, we're coming to the conclusion of all knowledge, and it's easy for us to, go to someone who's not a devotee and say, just chant, or stop eating meat, or these kinds of things, and it's so far beyond their scope of understanding and awareness that it repulses and repels them. And I find that it's important to give them that love and the potency where they can meet it, and listen very much to their issues, their problems. If we're building a bridge, be the one that goes to the other side first. Listen to them first.
Point.
Just like a child just needs to be understood.
Yes.
Just understand them. And then you understand their language, you understand their vernacular. And through that, you can start relating back, and eventually you can start replacing words like universe and God with Krishna. But that only happens when we extend that branch.
That's a very good point. And you speak of language. There are so many different languages that are spoken in ISKCON. There are so many different languages that are spoken in the temple. But when you speak the language of Krishna, of the scriptures, that is our one connection. That is our one connection. And we have to remember that. If I spoke the native language of whatever my native language was, you may not understand it. And I don't need to impress you. We need to speak the language of the scriptures so that we understand each other. But above all else, depending on how into Krishna conscious we are, our very presence anywhere should be enough to make a person look and say, there's something different about this person. I want to be like them. Gurus, I've seen gurus walk into the room and change the atmosphere. I know my guru did. I know His Holiness Radhanath Swami, Jayapataka Swami, Bhakti Cha. There's so many examples that we've had where sometimes you don't even need to open your mouth. Our strength should be, and our potency should be in how we carry ourselves and how we exude Krishna consciousness. Then when we speak it, we just blow them away. That's what we should be able to do. That's our responsibility. Each and every one of us, we have a responsibility. Each and every one of us is on a battle, our own battle of Kurukshetra. Each one of us. And Krishna is driving the chariot, if we allow him to do that. Just understand you don't control anything. Give it to Krishna. He's been controlling it even when you didn't know it. So officially give it to him. He will help you do whatever it is you need to do in the universities, how you reach out to people. He will make those arrangements for you. It's so simple, so simple. Sometimes the most simple things are complicated for us. Never understood that, but it does happen. But good point. You have to reach them where they are. Love has to be shown. I don't mean you have to fall in love with the person. No, don't confuse us. Love has to be shown so that people understand where we're coming from. And if somebody else in the movement is not showing that or misinterpreting it, then it's your responsibility to show them the right way. You can't fall back on, well, this person did, what did you do? That would be my guru. If I come to him and tell him, well, Guru Dev, this person, Antaryami, what did you do? So it's on us. It's on us no matter what's going on, what's not proper. You know what's proper. It's in the scriptures. Do it. Krishna will manifest in so many ways you may not even be able to control it. But it is a wonderful experience. And again, as I said, with all the years that I've been here, and there's some that have been here longer, you've had challenges where maybe you wanted to walk away. I wouldn't walk away from this. And the moments have not been always pleasing, but the point is, Krishna's got my back. Krishna's got me at all sides. That's who I fall back on. Guru, I fall back on. Srila Prabhupada, I fall back on. You all have that opportunity. Good question. You had a, yes, I think you had a question also. You.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for a nice class. I had comment, not question. I was really appreciating the prayer and that you read it a second time. It is so similar to Nishinga Kavacha, and then we have Narayan Kavacha. And so when you
Yes.
said, even when I was reading, this is like a Kavacha for us to memorize. And like may Madhava, may Govinda protect our playtime. I was like, that was so amusing. I never thought of Govinda as someone who protects our playtime. And Madhava protect our sleep. So I'm like, okay, every time I'm going to sleep Madhava.
Yes.
And I have trouble with my knees. And I was like, who's Maniman? I haven't heard Krishna's name as Maniman. And I was like, okay, my knees are troubling. Maniman. So I'm like, okay, these three. So this was such a beautiful, like reading the exact Krishna's names for different body parts. Such a beautiful meditation. So thank you.
We need to understand that these are prayers. They weren't just given to Krishna. They are ours to use. And yeah, the knees, yes, please, Krishna. But we have the facilities and the availability of Krishna's help, whatever it is. Whatever it is. And I just thought they were so powerful and they were just screaming. I thought, let's do it again for everybody that's here. Let's ask this prayer be covering all of us here and those that are hearing it online. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you for emphasizing so many powerful messages. The power of the holy name, how we need to seek protection, and then how our path is so powerful that in spite of all the differences we see around us, we have to have faith and stick to it.
Yes.
And a last point you also made while answering to Prabhu's question is, sometimes we have this holy name in our hand, but we get lost with so many, simple problems in our life, and we don't realize the power is here and we need to utilize it.
Yes.
So my question for you is, you mentioned that you have seen so many instances where the power of the holy name has worked when people were in very difficult situation. I would love to hear some of those instances you have experienced.
I was thinking of sharing that too. I had a situation where, and I think that's where I was thinking about a misery, identifying one of the miseries, but there was a situation where an individual stepped in front of a loaded weapon in order to protect someone else. And that weapon fell apart in that individual's hands. So you cannot tell me that God, that Krishna does not exist. And this is someone that maybe they weren't so powerfully sincere in chanting the holy name, but the point is Krishna hears you. He doesn't say you've got to break out in a holy name and just get so physically emotional about, just chant the holy name. But I saw this with my own eyes. I've seen so many things, and sometimes I have to try not to bore you with my stories, but it's just to let you know that what is in the scriptures, what they say Krishna will do, he will do. I'm not saying put yourself in the situation, but I'm saying that I've seen it. So you need situations, if you've not had them already, you need to see a situation where Krishna's pulled you from the brink of death. I have. Maybe that's why I think I'm bold, because I'm trying to follow Srila Prabhupada and Guru Dev. But the point is, we need to understand that Krishna is there for us. He's available for us, whatever it is we need. As long as we are following the proper procedure, he's there. He's there. And no matter what's going on, you probably lose your mind understanding it, well, knowing everything that's going on outside. Sometimes I have to pull myself away from the newspaper. I grab the newspaper and the TV. Yes, I need to know what's going on around the world. But you need to understand that acharyas, people before us, have gone through situations and they've been protected. And the same God that protected them then is there to protect us now. We need to remember that. We need to be little beacons of light so that we can attract people to this knowledge, because it is powerful. And if we have it in our hands and we don't share it, it's like a closed hand. Nothing goes out, nothing comes in. Why would we do that to ourselves? So, yes, I've seen many different situations. Some of them I'd have to write about and leave the country. I'm serious, because then it pinpoints who it happened to. But Krishna is omnipotent, powerful. He's everything they say and more that we can't wrap our minds around. So if I can leave you with anything, no matter what's going on in your home, in your hearts, in your personal lives, you have Krishna, you have the Lord. Try to find some association, someone you can communicate with, because sometimes we are a family, and sometimes we think that we need to live in the world alone. Well, maybe you do, but you need someone to communicate with. Find someone that you can talk these things over with. But other than that, come to the temple and have association. And I pray to Lord Krishna that the association here, whenever you come, is such that you want to come back and you want to bring someone else, because that's what this is about. It's not about separatism or this person or that person. It's about us as an entire family. And when we get that understanding, we could be the solution to the problems that are going on in the world very easily. All it takes is a spark or two to start a fire. And what a magnificent fire this would be. Anyone else want to share before we close? Yes. Yes.
We see that everybody subject to birth, death, old age, and disease, even if they have all these prayers of protection. For instance, like Prahlad Maharaj, I don't know what happened to Prahlad Maharaj. I know that he grew up. There's stories about him. He's not a child anymore. And then he's the king. So he's not with us anymore, as far as I know. So he must have had to leave his body eventually. So are people have less birth, death, old age, and disease if they say all these mantras for protection? Or
Do they have less
yes.
birth, old age, and disease? I'm going to hit you with that response I always hit you with. You know the answer to this, Prabhu. You know, but I'm going to humor you.
I might know.
I am going to humor you because I like the fact that you still attempt to do this class after class, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. Every situation is different. It doesn't mean as long as you take a material body, you're subject to repeated birth, death, old age, and disease. However, when you're chanting and taking the shelter of the holy name and the association of devotees, you're able to handle even death more easily, much more easily. We look at death easily. I look at it differently now. Before, it was like something vague. Now, I understand the process, and we've had so many acharyas, so many gurus, that in the process of leaving their bodies, my guru set an example. I kind of watched the process of Bhakti Charu. We've had, in Srila Prabhupada, what am I saying? Srila Prabhupada, right up until the moment, he's laying there on the bed, a mic is at his mouth, he's still preaching. That's the strength and the power and the potency we should have. We should be able to do that, to understand, even though we're in these material bodies, how we enter certain stages, even the stage, and understand death is not a period, it's a comma. It is a comma. Even when we enter that stage, we're in a better position to transition and go through it. Because we chant does not necessarily mean that we won't have to exchange bodies. But at some point when we've done what we're supposed to do, when it is our time, there's a possibility that we won't have to exchange this body for a material body any longer. But we should be of the understanding that if we have to go to hell and back for Krishna, we'll do it. Do it. What has he done for? We can't even imagine what he's done for us. But we have the power in our hands and in our hearts, and I can't wait until people start to use it even more and more. I see it in the temple. I can't wait until we use it more and more to share it with everyone. It would just make such a magnificent arrangement of souls together. It would be so blissful you forget you were in the material world. You think you're in the spiritual world. That's the energy we're supposed to have, regardless of who we are and where we come from. But I hope I answered you, and I look forward to your next question next time. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? We're done? Thank you so much for being here. You all had the opportunity of being somewhere else, but you chose to be here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Shri Shri Radhakala Chandji Dham ki jai. Hare Krishna. Vaishnavas ki jai. Hare Krishna.